Hey, what's going on, everyone? Greg here, and just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. After quickly publishing 2 videos, I thought I could take it easy today. I thought I could just plop down on the couch, kick my feet up, watch Dragon Ball Z, watch Goku and Vegeta just fight it out, but no. Mark Gurman from Bloomberg decided to leak all of Apple's plans for 2021 and beyond. And we have another blockbuster report of what to not only expect for the future of the iPhone 13, but actual confirmation that Apple is working on a foldable iPhone. So let's get into the video. So first of all, let's go over some updates to the iPhone 13, which again, I just recently made a video going over a large number of rumors and leaks. So if you want to learn even more about the iPhone 13, besides this report, you can check out that video right up here. Now, I think the most important bit of information from this Gurman report is that this year's iPhone will be similar to an S-style upgrade, meaning that it will pretty much look identical to the iPhone 12 and will instead focus on some minor improvements. However, despite it being an S year, there's still some pretty nice upgrades coming to the next iPhone, and one of them is the return of a fingerprint scanner that is in large part due to the current situation around the world. I don't know if you've kind of noticed, but we kind of have to wear these every once in a while. So now Apple is working on adding in the Touch ID fingerprint sensor into the display. And the fact that Qualcomm now has a new, faster in-display fingerprint reader that Apple would be using. The important thing to note here is that Apple isn't giving up on Face ID. As Gurman says, Apple won't remove its facial recognition scanner, though as it's still useful for augmented reality and camera features. Hopefully, I'm reading into this that Apple will implement a dual security approach with Touch ID built into the display, and then Face ID. I would love to see an option that lets us use either option. So if you're wearing a mask, you can still use Touch ID, or if you're using your phone without one, Face ID will unlock if it sees your face first. I think that would be the ideal situation. Furthermore, it would be super cool to see a super secure unlocking option where Touch ID and Face ID are both required to authenticate before you are able to unlock your phone. This would be a nice additional option for Apple to have multiple biometric options to unlock your iPhone, and I would just love to see that as an option to toggle in settings. Gurman is also reporting that Apple is looking at introducing some models without a Lightning port this year, creating the first portless iPhone, and that would move in favor of all wireless charging. I think this is pretty much a given at this point, as when I first looked at the MagSafe charging system, it looked like an accessory that was designed for a future without the Lightning port. So the iPhone 13, for better or worse, could be the phone that gives us 0 ports. And that's pretty much all the details from this Gurman report about the next iPhone. It's pretty sparse, but honestly, we've been hearing rumblings before about Touch ID being brought back and the idea that Apple would introduce a portless iPhone. This isn't necessarily new information, but it's nice to have Gurman reporting on this because his track record is just excellent, and it's further confirmation of what types of features we will see in this year's iPhone. Now, let's move over to the foldable iPhone. Yes, Apple is indeed working on a couple different foldable prototypes, according to Gurman. Gurman says Apple has developed foldable screens for internal testing, but hasn't solidified plans to actually launch a foldable iPhone. The development work hasn't expanded beyond the initial display, meaning Apple doesn't yet have full handset prototypes in its labs. The foldable Apple screens in testing, like those from Samsung, have a mostly invisible hinge with the electronic station behind the display. Apple has internally discussed a number of foldable screen sizes, including one that unfolds to a similar size as the 6.7-inch display on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So it looks like Apple is just in the early testing phases of making a foldable iPhone, and Gurman notes that the release of this foldable iPhone is still years away, or Apple might not even decide to release it at all. The interesting note here is that Apple is testing multiple versions of a foldable iPhone, one being a foldable iPhone that expands into a larger screen device like the Galaxy Fold, and an iPhone that folds into a more compact size, and then when it's unfolded, it's a regular phone screen size, around the size of an iPhone 12 Pro Max. We've also heard leaks in the past from Jon Prosser that Apple was testing a dual screen phone with two separate displays. But now it seems development has shifted to an actual foldable phone. In fact, Jon Prosser also came out with very similar information to Gurman in an episode of Front Page Tech where he goes over that Apple is working on an actual foldable phone with a new chemical compound for a ceramic glass that would actually somehow fold, rather than using the partly plastic and glass combination screens that Samsung has been using in their Galaxy Fold lineup. Personally, I've used both types of foldable phones, the Galaxy Z Flip and the Galaxy Z Fold 2, and both have been interesting devices. But I really didn't get sucked into either of them. I think the main issue for me with those foldable devices is the software, because I think the ideal foldable device would be an iPhone form factor that unfolded into a larger tablet display that then was able to run iPad OS. The big problem for me on the Android side of things with the Galaxy Z Fold is when you unfold the phone, you're unfolding it into a bigger sized Android phone, and the experience unfolded isn't really that different except for blown up text and stretching out content. Apple, in my opinion, already has the perfect operating system with iOS and iPadOS to make a foldable phone that is able to take advantage of the large number of optimized apps for both of those platforms, and I honestly think Apple is in a unique position to actually offer compelling foldable devices that could work as an iPhone/iPad hybrid. It just makes a ton of sense to me. Okay, now there's a few more reports to get through, and that includes the long-rumored AirTags, which just seem like an urban legend at this point. We've been hearing about AirTags for over a year now, and it seems like at every Apple event, there's a rumor that they're going to be announced and they're going to be available for sale, and that just hasn't transpired yet. For those of you that don't know what AirTags are, these are a tile-like device that you could attach to products and then use Apple's vast network of devices to locate an item if it's either lost or stolen. Gurman says the AirTag should finally be announced sometime this year, and Apple will also sell accessories with it, including an optional leather keychain. Okay, and lastly, we have some information on Apple's next budget iPad, which, as you know, is one of my favorite devices that they sell. Apparently, this iPad will be getting a slimmer design that will look like the 2019 iPad Air, so it should still have the top and bottom bezel and a Touch ID home button. But if it's using the 2019 design, it would probably have a bigger 10.5-inch laminated display and could possibly ship with either the same A12 processor like that iPad Air or an upgraded A13 processor. And like we detailed in a recent video, Apple is indeed working on an updated iPad Pro that will pack in a mini LED display, and that should be announced sometime around March. All right, everyone, and that is the last of the mega dump of information from Mark Gurman. And it sounds like Apple's 2021 is going to be just as jam-packed and just as exciting as its 2020. If you missed the last two videos detailing the new iMac, half-size Mac Pro, and new Apple external display, and of course the new 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros, well, make sure you check them out over here, and be sure to let me know what you think about these recent iPhone 13 and foldable iPhone rumors. If you like this video, be sure to leave me a like. If you want to see more from my channel, well, make sure you're subscribed. If you want to help the channel out in any way, make sure you check out some of the links in the description. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.